Well, good morning once again. It's Good Morning Uganda. My name is Olive Monica Najuma, and we are right on track for our agenda segment. It is 6 minutes past 8 o'clock. You're welcome. Let's delve into a conversation that is very crucial to Uganda's economic development, and that is investing in cooperative education in Uganda. Now, cooperative education is a powerful tool that equips individuals and communities with the knowledge and skills needed to build sustainable businesses and financial independence. But I am not the expert on this. I have the experts to have this conversation and why it is really important for us to pay attention to cooperative education. Now, I will be speaking to two ladies, and that is Miss Justine Kainza, who is the head of partnerships at the Uganda Cooperative Alliance, and also Associate Professor Rachel Mindra, who is the Dean of Faculty of Commerce, Makerere University Business School. Like I said, I am speaking with experts, so come along, join me, let's have the conversation. Ladies, good morning, you're welcome.
Good morning, Olive. Thank you for having us this morning, and good morning, viewers.
Okay, Justin, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, Olive. Yes, and good morning, our viewers.
Okay, so there we have it, and let's delve right into our conversation. I'll start with you, Justine. First of all, help us understand what is cooperative education and how does it differ from traditional business education?
Thank you so much, Olive. Maybe before cooperative education, I'll just give a highlight of what a cooperative is. A cooperative is an association of persons united voluntarily. Persons who come together to meet their social, economic or cultural needs through a democratically controlled enterprise and democratically elected leadership. So people come together with a common purpose. And globally, we operate on 7 principles. Principle 1 is open and free membership. 2 is democratic control. 3, member economic participation. 4, autonomy and independence. 5, which we are discussing today, is education, training and information. Then we have cooperation among cooperatives and concern for community. So our principle of education, training and information is a key principle in the cooperative movement. It is through this principle that we can get information, that we can get to know the skills in the cooperative movement, that we can build capacity of the cooperative leaders, the cooperative members, towards the success of the cooperatives at different levels. So as Uganda Cooperative Alliance, we have seen a gap in the cooperative sector. We have seen a gap in cooperative education sector. That's why we have come up to drum up for cooperative education in Uganda. We want to see it scaled up. Currently, Olive, if I'm to just take a brief history, Uganda's cooperative education journey is traced way back in the 1940s. And during that time, we had the informal education. People would just come together, maybe in school premises, during the holidays, or under trees to enlighten the cooperative officers at the time. But you know, as time evolved, we saw in 1947 that there was need for the colonial officers to have skilled persons to represent in the East Africa and the different countries, which were the East African community then. They wanted commercial officers who are skilled, who are equipped. And at that time, the capacity was limited. So in 1949, the registrars of the 3 countries, which was Uganda, Tanganyika at the time, and Kenya, came up with an idea of establishing the East African School of Cooperation. So that's how we see the education journey, the cooperative education journey, begin in the East African community. And in 1950 actually, that was when they budgeted for it. And 1951, commencement of the construction was on. 1952, this school was launched, and we saw people from the different countries of East Africa, Uganda, Tanganyika, and Kenya at the time, went there to acquire such skills. And in Uganda particularly, you can talk about 1954, maybe in Nsamizi. That's when we saw cooperative education embraced to train the the cooperative officers at that time, the registrars, the chiefs, not parish chiefs, they were chiefs at that time, and the protectorate officials. So they wanted the cooperative education because at the time people were organized into cooperatives, but they needed these skills to run them. We had the old traditional cooperatives, the Masaka cooperative unions, the Lango, Bugishu, Banyankole, Kweterana, but the colonial government saw it wise that people should have skills, peculiar skills, people who would understand these principles better, because if you understand the cooperative principles best, that's when you can promote the growth of cooperatives in a country. So I see that the difference between is when one understands the principles of cooperation, because even today government is taking on the parish development model, the PDMs and the MIOGAs. Now this is a model which needs someone who is grounded in cooperatives. In fact, when we look at the Cooperative Societies Act, we recommended that we should have a cooperative officer in each sub-county. But in the colonial times, we had them at parishes. So because that was the model, the development model at the time, so it was easier. It was the government at the time. So it was that we should have people who are skilled in cooperation, bring people together to achieve development. Because since the colonial times, we knew this was the model that is self-sustaining, that is self-made, because people come together with a common purpose. So we looked at issues of sustainability. So that's the brief I can give about the cooperative.
Okay, thank you, Justin. Now I have Professor Mindra here. Meanwhile, when I heard your name, I could have sworn that you're Indian. Now, Professor, getting into the conversation, how has cooperative education been integrated into Uganda's higher education system?
Okay, thank you, Olive, and great question there. First of all, I want to bring warm regards from the principal of Makerere University Business School, Professor Moses Muhwezi, whom I do represent as the head of institution. But right back to your question, incorporating cooperatives education into our curriculum, as an institution of higher education, but also being a public institution, probably I'll start there. Ours is to make sure that we align ourselves with the development agenda of this country. And by engraving cooperatives into our programs is saying that as Makerere University Business School, a public institution, we are aligned with moving this initiative, which is one of the greatest development agendas in this country. So how are we incorporating cooperatives education into our curriculum? We are a business and management institution, and that alone, business and management are very, very core to the cooperatives. Cooperatives have to be business oriented. Cooperatives have to manage, not just to manage the resources or the finances, but they have to manage the members. Cooperatives have to have great governance structures for them to see sustainability and to operate effectively and to achieve the goals for which cooperatives were established in this country way, way back in the centuries ago, as Justin has indicated. So for us as an institution, we have been providing specific management and business programs, from your accounting to finance to marketing to strategy, strategic management to branding to international business, internationalizing of businesses, entrepreneurship, innovation, leadership. All these are with computer related digitization to align ourselves with the times. We have different management areas which deals with planning, with organizing, all these dimensions of business and management the institution has delivered. Why am I saying this? These alone are very, very critical to cooperatives and also professionalizing cooperatives. And this is what we are looking at. So at the moment, we've partnered with Uganda Cooperatives Alliance and Moshi University in Tanzania, which Cooperatives University. And this is to say that we don't just want to put a cooperatives course into the curriculum to just be one of those that someone studies and it passes. We are saying we want to develop programs that are focused on cooperatives so that someone can actually come and start a career in cooperatives. Justine here is a typical example of someone, and many others within the the alliance
yes,
who have actually taken on a career in cooperatives. So at Makerere University Business School, we have partnered to understand what are the needs of cooperatives in this country. So many, over 18 million cooperatives, I think, in this country. What are their needs? So that we come in as an institution to develop programs that are tailored to the needs and to also contribute to the sustainability and ensuring that these are professionalized, are also impactful in the way they deliver. So as an institution, Olive, we have started on the development of these programs so that someone can actually start from the different levels up to even a PhD in cooperatives, so that we continue to sustainably change the cooperatives, professionalize them, and also we are going to develop short courses so that people can come and have a quick understanding of, say, financial management in cooperatives, governance in cooperatives. How do I strengthen resource mobilization in cooperatives? How do I innovate? Can we even provide at MOOBS, we have the incubation and innovation center, entrepreneurship. Can we support businesses or incubate startups and support them within our curriculum so that we're able to even instill the entrepreneurial side of cooperatives within the way they operate? We shall continue with the conversation, but that's my response to that question.
All right. And I love the response. You really painted for us a very clear picture. But as a trainer, someone who really understands this, and then you teach others, basically you're shaping the future of cooperatives in the country. What would you say are the key benefits of cooperative education for students and professionals?
Okay. Thank you, Olive. The benefits are immense. I'll reflect on Nelson Mandela's quote that education is the most powerful weapon which can create change. But also, when we look at the International Labour Organization report of 2023, they say that education, especially if we talk about it in the frame of cooperatives, education is that cornerstone that is going to help people participate more, understand more, and get the best out of whatever initiative they're involved in. So the benefits, first of all, of cooperative education is it will get people to understand the value of cooperatives. In this country, we are laboring with things like access to finance. Access to finance through the formal institutions has become quite difficult. So when we cooperate and come together, there is a lot of potential in terms of access to financing, the different values of networking, and coming together as a group of people to support each other, to grow, to become better entrepreneurs, to become better leaders, and also to elevate ourselves. But most importantly, education, what education does is to change a mindset. To change a mindset, to improve attitude towards different activities like business and leadership and different areas of life. When you undergo the different trainings of cooperatives education for our students or professionals out there, or people who are participating in these cooperatives but do not have the weapon to participate effectively, to address the challenges that are being experienced in cooperatives, especially financial management. We know that many of the cooperatives are struggling with managing finances. When people collect money, some people are tempted to run away with this money. So when people know the principles of financial management in their entirety, they're able to manage finances better on behalf of the members, and also ensure the sustainability and the long haul of these cooperatives. Secondly is the issue of governance. We've seen a lot of challenges around governance, and we're teaching our students, it's just not managing a cooperative, but governance in living, in being, in responsibility, in going to manage institutions, to managing homes, to managing relationships, you know? So governance is multi-pronged, and this is one of the critical areas there. The other thing we're battling with is resource mobilization. Through this training and this education, our students need to learn. Let's get out of this narrative, government to Yambi. We are waiting for government to solve our problems. What about learn how to write grants, how to write proposals, which we do at our institution, and what we actually teach within that. What about learning about innovation, creativity and entrepreneurship? And this is what we want our students to do, not to just become job seekers, but to go and innovate. We're in a business and management institution. These are the things our students should come out with and go. Leadership. We're having issues with leadership at family level, at institutional level, at national level. We're all seeing all these aspects around leadership coming along. But also, I want to delve into the issue of contributing, our students understanding that through entrepreneurship and management of businesses, they can contribute to the agenda of, as a country, we are moving towards, we're trying to do export promotion and import substitution. These cooperatives are a place where this can be done, where we can nurture value chain within businesses to support value chain contribution and so many things. So the benefits are immense, but we're also giving government an opportunity to realize Principle 5, education, training and information. It is the duty of the government through public institutions to see that citizens get education, our students are empowered through education and providing information, and with the information we make the world better. So the benefits, Olive, I can go on and on and on, but in the interest of time and to give an opportunity to Justine also to contribute, they are actually immense, and these are going to certainly see us improve the way we do business, and also to see cooperatives, to see our students, professionals thrive better if they are able to undertake these professional certifications to understand how management, leadership and business is run within these spaces. Thank you, Olive.
Thank you so much, Professor. And now I'll go to Justine. Let's look at the current state of cooperative education in Uganda. Justine, how would you, in your perspective from the Alliance, but also in working with cooperatives and studying the environment of the same, how would you assess the current level of awareness and adoption of cooperative education in the country?
Thank you, Olive. Currently, cooperative education in Uganda is not to the levels that we expect as cooperators or as the cooperative movement. I can say since the establishment of our traditional colleges, like this, the one of Chigumba, Chigumba Cooperative College, that one was established in the commission in 1975. So from 1975, the Cooperative College of Chigumba has been offering certificates, degrees. I've personally been there for a certificate course in leadership for change. We have the Cooperative College of Tororo. So we, as cooperators, as a Uganda Cooperative Alliance, we feel we should move to higher levels. That's why on this note I would like to thank Professor Mindra for that initiative, partnering with the University, International University of Mosh, to have the institutions offer cooperative education across different levels. Personally, I graduated from Ndeje University last week with a degree in cooperatives and agribusiness management. But, you know, we were wondering with my colleagues, who were like, now what happens? Are we boarding a plane to Kenya? Are we going to Arusha? You know? So it was a little complex, and, you know, the cost in it and all the resources. So we really appreciate if our institutions in Uganda take up cooperative education to higher levels. We want to see people do the masters in cooperatives, PhDs. A week ago, we were in Chigumba, we were interacting with the principal of Chigumba. And he was also, you know, he told us about a partnership with the University of, Cooperative University of Kenya, where they went through that, the memorandums of understanding to also, you know, transform, of course, start with the partnerships, but eventually have the Cooperative College of Chigumba transform into the university Chigumba University of Cooperatives, which would be ideal. And having them across the country would also be good, because MOOBS is central, so we would embrace the programs at MOOBS. Chigumba upgraded, it would be so good, because, you know, this was constructed in 1970. A government even at that time acquired the loan, the same infrastructure which is there up today. So they need to be supported, because we need the foundation. That's why Chigumba is our focus as well. We need it as one of the traditional institutions. So personally, I graduated from Mundeje. The private institutions have taken on this, like Ndeje University. They're offering the courses, and like Professor said, the integration of the different course units, accounting, management, you know, business. Because I remember when you read the colonial times, they would focus on bookkeeping, which was more of accounting, accountability in cooperatives, how they manage the resources. So it is our dream, it is our initiative as Uganda Cooperative Alliance to promote our principle of education, training and information, and integrate it in the bigger picture of the education sector in Uganda, because we see even government is focusing on the PDMs. We would be having the parish chiefs who are being trained in cooperatives to guide the growth of these cooperatives at the parish levels. So want it taken up to higher levels so that more Ugandans would benefit. And at the end of the day, it would also bring in better results in the parish development more than the different government initiatives if people are educated in those lines and we work towards maintaining the cooperative principles.
Okay, okay. I like how you glow when you talk about cooperatives, Justine. But let me go back to the professor. But before I do that, you can join this conversation. We are speaking matters cooperative education in Uganda. If you have any questions, I have a professor here. She is the associate professor and also dean of Faculty of Commerce at Makerere University Business School, and that is Professor Rachel Mindra. So if you have any questions for her, or even to Justine Kainza, who is the head of partnerships at Uganda Cooperative Alliance, please get to us through WhatsApp number 0709 602 592. Share your views regarding the same. You can also ask some questions. They will be answered by the professor or Justine. Professor, coming back to you, let's look at academic institutions and you work with one. So how are you, or how are academic institutions working with cooperatives to provide practical training to students?
Okay. Thank you, Olive, for that great question. I want to start by saying, if we begin to reflect on where the country is going, we have seen amendments or changes in the curriculum, especially at preliminary level, and we are seeing what that means. Sorry, we are seeing what that means. We have to become more practical and no longer theoretical in the way we are doing business, in the way we are developing or designing our curriculum. And this is why I'm here with Justine. We have said, can institutions, we have now, they say we have come down from the ivory tower to partner with the industry-led organizations who understand the actual problems. For us as academic institutions, we understand them through research. And we've done so much research, and we found that this research aligns with the issues that the industry is actually bringing to the table. They're actually saying that these are the challenges we have. And when we go back to research, we find that these are the challenges we have. So we have come down from the ivory tower to say, let us partner with the industry, let us go down to the grassroots, and then let's design programs that are market-led, that are responsive to the gaps that we are seeing in the current education provision. I can tell you that Uganda, people may go around saying our education system, but I can tell you our education system is great. What we need to accept is to say we can improve it a little more to make it more impactful. So as academic institutions, we have been very, very particular, and I want to give credit to National Council of Higher Education, which is our regulator, who have said now you cannot have a program approved by National Council of Higher Education. Even our quality assurance processes as institutions, your program will not be approved if it has not demonstrated now almost 40% of practicability or application in terms of running the program. I think some of you had some of our programs were not yet accredited, and there were issues there, but also because of we are now churning out several programs because we are responding to market needs and the new trends. Digitization has become part of the conversation. Yes. Today, there is no program that can be approved if there is no aspect of digitization and a practicability. My specialization, for instance, is finance, banking, and investment. Now, my coursework, I'll tell my students that I teach finance, go walk down to Nakawa Business Park and open up an SCD account, that is an investment account, to start investment, your investment journey in year one. You get it? Go and see what unit trusts are doing, because I'm telling my students, save and invest as a young person. They must go out and actually do. We teach entrepreneurship and innovation. At the university, for instance, and many other universities, I may not speak for them today, have developed incubation and entrepreneurship hubs. They're even bringing entrepreneurs to incubate their startups. At the business school, we have a program on entrepreneurship. Students who do business entrepreneurship and management. These are given a platform. Every Friday there's a market. There's an opportunity for them to pitch their businesses. What does that mean? We're putting what we are teaching in practice. And I cannot say we have arrived. We are in the process of aligning ourselves. So these students that are going to come to the university through the new curriculum, which is literally practical-based curriculum or skills-based curriculum, is coming to us. So if we don't prepare ourselves as institutions of higher learning to embrace this student, the students will get frustrated. So what we're doing is to prepare ourselves to consult. Part of our program development process and part of the approval process, we must bring to the table stakeholders, different stakeholders, employees, employers, alumni. We bring the industry, the companies, to tell us how can we align our programs to enable our students get integrated into the world of employment, the world of entrepreneurship, the world of policy. Now we are developing cooperatives programs. We have to bring to the table Ministry of Cooperatives, Trade and Industries. We have to go back to bring to the table our colleagues from Chigumba and Tororo to ask them what do we need to do in terms of providing higher level education for cooperatives. So partnerships and collaborations have become very, very pertinent in understanding how we can make our programs very, very practical and deliver on that front, and also to give value to our students and to the citizens who come to our institutions of higher learning, to elevate and to empower them in terms of that expectation as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before I go back to Justin, just one small one, because there are people watching right now, and before you invest or become not self-employed actually, before you become a business person, some people want to go into work first, save some money, and then they can invest. So in what ways can cooperative education improve employment opportunities for the youth?
Okay. So Olive, great question there, but I want to give a disclaimer. Some people are not born to be entrepreneurs or to run businesses. Yes, I can tell you. Yes. So those ones will thrive in the world of being employed. Employment. But probably some entrepreneurs come up because of necessity or because of experience. After working so hard, maybe there are things you learn or there are challenges you experience that then force you to run or start a business. So the opportunities in cooperatives are immense, just like any profession. When you look, and I don't want to do Justine's job. Justine and Ivan do justice when they are explaining what cooperatives are. But cooperatives are like a business. Cooperatives are like a business which have full-blown structures like any company. There'll be, I'll give an example of Wazalendo. This is one of the very successful cooperatives in this country.
Isn't it the most successful?
I want to give credit to others who have not mentioned,
Okay.
right? But this is a typical example of a cooperative that is running a business. It's actually like a company. It has a CEO, it has a finance management, it has auditors, it has managers, it has different segments that deal with partnerships, that deal with resource mobilization, CSR. You've seen what they've done in terms of their CSR arm. They have a strategic part, they have a full governance structure. That means our students can actually go and work in these cooperatives, can actually, we see what these cooperatives, they need capacity building. They can become trainers. The moment you have this paper, you can actually go and build capacity. You can go and train. You can actually make a contribution in various ways, because when you have education, when you have a paper, it has given you an opportunity, it has opened a first door for you that you have technical expertise. So where in the cooperative space or sector can you provide that? Is it in resource mobilization? Is it as a financial manager or a person contributing in that department? Is it a person dealing with the entrepreneurial side of enhancing cooperatives business? Because we want cooperatives to start operating as businesses, not to just say, we save money, we lend money, we lend money. There is more capacity that cooperatives have. They have the capacity to innovate. They have the capacity to contribute to value chains. We have procurement and purchasing as a program at MOOBS. These are students who can actually go and provide their services to these cooperatives. Leadership has very many arms. Management has very different many arms. So Olive, the response there is to say, the way we look at ordinary employment in MTN Uganda, Airtel, in UCA, at MOOBS, this is exactly how all these students who undertake all these programs can actually go and be employed, and even also start their own cooperatives, because we know the president, as you heard in the advert before we started, is encouraging people to start cooperatives, to get into cooperatives and build themselves and build this country. So I don't know if I've been direct, but I'm telling you that the opportunities are there, both in terms of a career, a profession, but also as a business, for them to improve their quality of life and contribute to the development of this country.
Okay, thank you so much, Professor. Now, Justine Kayinza, there is a question here coming in from John in Buweswa. He says he's John from Buweswa Growers Cooperative Society, located in eastern Uganda, and he's inquiring on how cooperative leaders can get capacity building from Uganda Cooperative Alliance.
Thank you so much, John, for watching from Buweswa. And we are happy that this is also one of the avenues that we are doing the cooperative education. As Uganda Cooperative Alliance, training, capacity building, that's one of our key roles. That's one of our key mandate areas. So Buweswa leadership needs to get in touch with Uganda Cooperative Alliance. In fact, we are going out to the field soon to do monitoring, because we also reach out when we do monitoring of performance of our cooperative. That's how we identify the gaps. So thank you so much that he has pointed out that need. He needs to approach Uganda Cooperative Alliance, and we interact more with him on probably which areas of training that they may need. So he's welcome. It's because it's one of our key mandates, capacity building is. So we are going to get in touch with him and see how best, because the need might differ from cooperative to cooperative, may not be the same across.
Okay, and this one is from Semakula Joseph, who is the PCO Mitiana MC,
Yes.
and he says, a product of Chigumba,
Yes.
1994, but as a commercial officer in Uganda, we would like to have, as commercial officers in Uganda, would like to have a joint engagement managed by Uganda Cooperative Alliance in form of a refresher or induction course to be at on the same page when it comes to cooperative education of our community if socio-economic transformation is to be achieved well. That is Semakula Joseph. What would you say to that, Justin?
That is, in fact, that's the more reason we are getting into the partnerships, like with MOVES, like Professor said, they've designed different packages, the certificates, the degrees, the master's programs. So this is the reason we are coming up with these partnerships to ensure that cooperative education, for him, he was lucky, he attended in Chigumba, where I also did at one time, but we also want other parts of the country, want students across the country to access these services. In fact, among our programs, we're also targeting the commercial officers, because in their training, they tend to focus over, of course, it's a financial course, financial management, but the area of cooperatives, not much effort has been placed on understanding the cooperative ideology. So as Uganda Cooperative Alliance, this is one of the areas we are advocating for, because actually the law says we should have cooperative officers at the sub-counties, but at the moment, government has no capacity to recruit them now. So the commercial officers are the ones doing the cooperative work in the districts. And I agree with John that indeed we need capacity building, at least those refresher courses to align what is happening in the cooperative world and the actual work that the commercial officers are implementing in the different districts. We appreciate them so much, because at the moment they are our foot soldiers as the cooperative movement, and indeed we are working towards that. That's why we're getting to such partnerships, and shall continue also engaging the traditional colleges like Chigumba and Tororo to ensure that the capacities are enhanced, because capacity is continuous. It can't be one day.
Okay, and this one is from Osbert. He says, Akinsimire Osbert, thanks for teaching us, but I'm requesting to know, can you reach us in Mubende district so that we can have more knowledge? That's still for you, Justin.
Yes, thank you so much. It's good to even have our regional coordinators, and please feel free to interact with UCM. UCA, we are on Nkrumah Road, plot 4749. So please reach out to us. Uganda Cooperative Alliance is the apex board of all cooperatives in the country. So we are your parent, we are your father. So we are so happy to get this feedback, and surely we shall get in touch with you to ensure that we understand and appreciate the different challenges or needs in the cooperatives across the country.
Okay, and the last question, this one says, good morning, Professor. I have my boy who sat senior 6 in 2022. Can he join the cooperative course?
Okay. Thank you very much for that. I like that enthusiasm. At the moment, we are finalizing the procedures for the programs, but as soon as we advertise, these will certainly be broadcasted and advertised, and UCA will reach out to the different regions to indicate this. The S6 person at the moment may not be able, because they start this year in August, so it may be delayed a bit. I encourage him to, in the interim, apply for what is already available, but as we have these short courses and programs, he can do them concurrently. At the business school, our students have time to get other short courses. We have students who study SCCA, CPA at the same time, do CFA, and do other certifications on the side. So we shall be able to support such a student to expose them to maybe a very specific certification, and then perhaps later they can get onto a postgraduate diploma. That is going to be our first churn-out, our first rollout, and we have also developed a bachelor's and also master's program, and then consequently a PhD. So at the moment, he may not be able to get on that, because we've not had the programs fully certified by National Council for Education, but we are looking at next year to advertise these programs.
Okay.
So that could be my response. But these are in the pipeline, and we are putting all the energy to prepare these programs for the public.
All right, thank you. And I had said lastly, but now lastly, Joseph from Sorority says, if I want to access your training, how possible will it be? In which way can I access your training? Is it possible to do it online? That's, I think, for the professor.
Okay. As a business school, we have, we are aligning ourselves, especially after COVID. We realize that blended learning is the way to go. Today, I can assure you that we teach 50% of our programs online and the other 50 physical. So once we realize the need for the virtual engagements, we shall certainly be able to serve that market as well. Okay. Because we are aware that not everybody can come to Nakawa, but also we have our campuses. We have a campus in Imbara, Rebikona area. We have a campus in Jinja. We have a campus in Arua. So those are Nimbale. Those are our regional campuses. And we shall reinforce these with the different dimensions to ensure that we reach out and are able to provide education to as many citizens as possible wherever they are.
Okay, thank you so much, Professor. I have been speaking to Associate Professor Rachel Mindra, who is the Dean Faculty of Commerce at Makerere University Business School. And also, I've been speaking to Justin Kaiza, who is the Head of Partnerships at the Uganda Cooperative Alliance. And the topic of discussion was cooperative education in Uganda. Thank you so much for being a part of the conversation, and thank you for the feedback, the questions. I hope that you got the answers that you needed, and we will catch you tomorrow again at 6:30 in the morning. But Good Morning Uganda does continue, as Ruben Pima is right here to take us through sports updates. Stick around.
Live from UPC Studio.